Yeah, y'all ready? All these conversations filled with doubt. We dismiss what we can't figure out. Oh, but I don't have to see to believe in it. I know that it's true, 'cause I'm feeling it. I don't need no one to agree with it. No, there's just too much proof in my life. Lord, I know it's you, and every mountain that you move. Oh, I love the way that you do the things you do. No one can deny what I've seen with my own eyes. So I thank you for every miracle. You keep coming through time after time. Yeah, you do. Showing off the wonders you designed. Blows my mind, y'all. I don't have to see to believe in it. I know that it's true, 'cause I'm feeling it. I don't need no one to agree with it. There's just too much proof in my life. Lord, I know it's you, and every mountain that you move. Oh, I love the way that you do the things you do. No one can deny what I've seen with my own eyes. So I thank you for every miracle. Lord, I know it's you, and every mountain that you move. Oh, I love the way that you do the things you do. No one can deny what I've seen with my own preaching to the choir, stop hating on yourself. Quit playing with your mind, you're spinning. If you think that I'm a lie, just try it for yourself. The clouds will open up, blue skies are willing. Yeah, I know it's so hard to go away. The clouds will open up, blue skies are willing. Take it from me, you'll be okay. 'Cause it don't matter how sweet it tastes. The grass ain't green, don't worry. Losing sleep, still wanna get. Yeah, you'll get back on the feet again. Lift your head, hold it high. Hold it back, but you can't turn the time.
Hey everybody, welcome to YX. My name is Matt. I'm so glad you're joining us for the Youth Experience Online. Hey, our service together, we're gonna be together for about 45 minutes. We're gonna sing some worship songs together. We're gonna hear an incredible message from one of our speakers, and we're gonna answer some questions along the way. So it's gonna be a whole lot of fun. And if you're watching the stream online right now, we'd love to chat with you. If you're watching in a group, that's even better. We'd love for you to chat with your group. We get to be together and interact and talk and really enjoy community as we enjoy and experience YX together. And if you are brand new, never been here before, I just want to say welcome. We're so glad you're here. We're so glad you're joining us for YX. We'd love to get to know you. We'd love to know more about you. We'd love to introduce ourselves and you get to introduce yourself. Well, you go to yxyouth.com/connection, introduce yourself that way, and we'd love to help you connect and get involved here. Hey, groups are happening right now. We're excited about it. There's groups that are meeting and that are watching this service together. We want to tell you, if you haven't found a group yet, we'd love to help you find that group. You can go to yxyouth.com/groups. You can find out all the information, find the right group that's going to work for your schedule, and we'd love to see you join us in groups. Well, that's all I have right now. Thank you so much for being here. We hope you enjoy the Youth Experience.
Well, I know
Well, hey everyone, welcome to YX. My name is Matt, and I just want to start by thanking everyone that came this past Wednesday for Christmas crossover. Man, what a great time. I really enjoyed that time with you guys. So excited for hopefully more crossovers to come, but I'm so glad that you came back this Sunday to join us for our last week of Merry Christmas to Me. Hey, I want to settle just a mythical, like a long-term historic debate. And that debate is a Christmas debate over, is it better to have a real Christmas tree or a fake Christmas tree? I have an unpopular opinion. I actually like fake Christmas trees. I grew up with a fake Christmas tree. My Christmas tree was so fake growing up, it actually spun. Like it didn't even try to pretend to be a real tree. Like it just constantly was on this spin. And so I like it. It's not as messy. I don't have to figure out what to do with it. I'm not as tempted to take it to my backyard and burn it, and put lighter fluid on it and see how high I can get the flame. And so I like the fake Christmas tree. What do you like? Do you like the real Christmas tree or the fake Christmas tree? So here's the thing, whether or not it's real or fake, it's a temporary use item. A lot of things at Christmas is a seasonal item. It's Christmas dinners, it's Christmas presents, it's Christmas cookies, or even the Christmas spirit. And one of the reasons the Christmas season is so special is it isn't year-round. It is a temporary thing. And so even though the Christmas season doesn't last forever, there's plenty of things that can last long after the holidays end, like our memories, our relationships that we make over this season, our gratitude for this season. And that's even true when it comes to Jesus. For many of us, the only time each year that we think about Jesus' birth is Christmas time. How incredible is it that our Creator chose to humble himself, come to earth, and rescue us? So today I want to challenge us to find new ways to thank God for the miracle of Jesus' birth. So let me ask you this question. What's one thing you love about Christmas that you wish you could experience all year long?
Well, hi, YX. We are so happy to be here with you guys. I would personally like to chime in on the tree thing and say that I prefer real Christmas trees. I grew up with a fake Christmas tree. Actually didn't know my tree was fake. Did not know. And now as an adult, I'm able to buy real Christmas trees, and I just love it. It just makes me feel like a sincere, just celebrator. I don't know if that's a real word, but I feel like I can really celebrate with a real tree. So we're going to be entering into a time of worship, and I just want to say, no matter where you are, this is a free space, so worship however you feel inclined to, whether that be raising your hands, doing nothing at all, just listening or singing along. Everything is welcomed, and Jesus is already here, so let's really embrace this time that we have together. I was buried beneath my shame. Who could carry that kind of weight? It was my turn till I met you. I was breathing but not alive. All my failures I tried to hide. It was my turn till I met you. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. Now your mercy has saved my soul. Now your freedom is all that I know. The old made new, Jesus, when I met you, you called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. I needed a rescue, my sin was heavy, but chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan, now you call me a citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing, now your love is the air that I'm breathing. I have a future, my eyes are open, 'cause when you call my name, I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies, till all my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. From my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Your love has called my name. I've been born again to your family. Your blood flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and say, I am a child of God. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. My fears were drowned in perfect love. You rescued me so I could stand and say, I am a child of God. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. Those words are so, so true. We are all children of God. And I know that it's easy to forget that, especially with so much going on in the world. We lose sight of the main thing. The main thing is no matter what anybody says to you, no matter what names they call you, no matter what they say is wrong with you, you are a child of God, and everything else is irrelevant. That is your superpower. There are no words that can damage you, nothing negative that can damage you when you cling onto the truth that you are a child of God. And He loves you, He sees you, and He wants to walk with you through every season of life. This is an extremely hard season. One that I've never seen before, never experienced before. And sometimes you feel like I'm doing life wrong. I should be happier. I should just push my way through it. And that's not the case. It's not what God is asking you to do. What He wants you to know is I'm here. No matter what you're feeling, I'm here, and you can tell me I can take it. And I love you. And I will always love you. So this next song that we're going to sing, it just talks about just that. God walking through the highest moments of life with you and the lowest moments of life with you. He wants to be there. You just have to allow Him. So I want you guys to really, really think about these words. Grasp onto these words tightly. And let them guide your life, and know that you are never, ever, ever alone. When it feels like the dark lingers longer than the night, when the shadows feel like giants, are you chasing me down? Tell me, where could I run from your light? Where could I hide? And within your precious thoughts, there's no hiding from your love. Highs and lows, Lord, you're with me either way it goes. Should I rise or should I fall? So, Lord, your mercy is an even flow. You're too good to let me go. Should I dance on the heights make my bed among the depths. Your mercy waits at every end, like you planned it from the start. Should the dawn come with wings, or find me far side of the sea, there your hand still fastens me, ever closer to your heart. Whoa, highs and lows, Lord, you're with me either way it goes. Should I rise or should I fall? Even so, Lord, your mercy is an even flow. Should I rise or should I fall? You are faithful through it all. You're too good to let me go. You're too good to let me go. Oh, you never let us go. No, you never let us go. Highs and lows, you surround me either way it goes. Should I rise or should I fall? Lord, you're with me through it all. Should I rise or should I fall? You are with me through it all. You're too good to let me go. You're too good to let us go. Oh, you never let us go. No, you never let us go. God, we thank you for that truth. We thank you that you give us something to hold on to. We thank you for your unconditional love, God. I just pray that through this season of life, people feel more seen. They feel more heard. They feel more understood. God, I just pray that they know your love for them is so strong. Let us be an example of that love. Teach us to love others the way you love us. We thank you so much and pray these things in your name. Amen.
Hey YX, I'm Bailey, and I am finishing up our series on Merry Christmas to Me. So for the last few weeks, we've gone through some of the characters of the Christmas story, from Mary and Joseph to a few of the shepherds and even angels in that story. And then at our crossover night, we even continued this series. And now, today, we are going to finish it with the wise men. So shortly after Jesus was born, there were a few people that came to him. We've talked about the shepherds. They came like right after. And then the wise men, they came a little bit afterwards. And so you've probably heard of them. We always talk about it being 3 of them. I don't know why. There were probably more than that, but that's what we say. We don't really know a ton about them, but we know a few things. We know that they followed a star in the night sky to find where the little baby Jesus was laying. And we also know that they brought some gifts with them that actually carried quite a bit of significance. And then finally, their story probably didn't happen quite like this, but I want to show you this anyways, just to get a feel for the wise men. So check this out.
No, I can't show up to the manger with this. Mary's gonna be like, gold, frankincense, myrrh, gift card? Okay. Wow. What a perfect gift for my son, AKA the most important person ever.
Settle down, Doron. Just make sure that you give it with
Even the shepherd boy is gonna one-up me with a cute, adorable baby wool hat he made. Man, they're gonna call me a fool man after this.
Look, I'll tell them we went halfsies on the myrrh.
Trust me, he'll know that we didn't, okay? I mean, I just gotta pray that this gift is good enough to... Wait, this expires 1 AD. That's today! I gotta come up with something else. Out of my way!
What are we going to do, Jaspers? They're expecting 4 gifts.
You need a 4th gift, you say?
All right, let's take the little drummer boy. Get out of here while Doron's distracted. Yeah. Go.
Hey, guys, I did it! The perfect gift for... Guys? Guys? Hey! Oh, I see how it is. So you're the 3 wise men now, huh? Yeah, like that'll catch on. Y'all gonna miss me?
So that's probably not at all what the wise men actually were talking about whenever they were getting ready to hop on their camels and ride over to little baby Jesus and give their gifts. But I think that we all can relate to the 4th wise man a little bit. There's always a whole lot of pressure when you're looking for that perfect gift for someone special. We all have someone in our lives that makes us think, what can I give that will really show them how much I care about them? It's hard enough to find the perfect gift to give someone special, like your mom or a friend or maybe even a crush or a dog or something, I don't know. But imagine how hard it would be to give a gift to someone that you think is going to someday be the most important person to ever walk on earth. That's what the wise men were dealing with on the day that Jesus was born. So I want to ask you, if Jesus were born today and money wasn't a concern at all, what would you give him? What, like the gold, the frankincense, the myrrh, the gift card that was about to expire, what would you give Jesus? Talk about that with your groups.
If I could get Jesus something, I'd probably get him like a blanket and like some food, because he's going to be starving in a cave and he's a baby. So like, just give him some warmth, some comfort.
I'd start by giving Jesus my house. That would be a good starting point. And then I would give him my love and my commitment, and I would trust in him.
I would give Jesus some baby Jordan 3s, you know. He's my savior. I want him, you know, looking fresh with his baby feet with some baby Jordan 3s.
I would probably buy Jesus a Bible. That way he knows right away, like, how to follow his father.
If Jesus was born today, I would give him some books, some clothes, some shelter, and my love.
If Jesus was born today, I'm not just saying this to be like a goody-goody Christian, but I think that the most important thing is to just give him yourself, just to surrender to him. That's like the biggest present that you could ever give him.
So we're going to be talking about the gifts that baby Jesus received in just a minute. But first, let's talk about who these wise men really were and what we might have gotten wrong about them. So if you turn to Matthew 2, in the beginning of the New Testament, you read this. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the time of King Herod, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, and they asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. So he was disturbed because he was the king, and whenever the wise men came looking for another king, he didn't want to lose his throne. So picking back up in verse 4, he says, "When he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. 'In Bethlehem in Judea,' they replied, 'for this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel.' Then Herod called the wise men secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared." Since there are so few verses about the Magi, there are a lot of things we don't know about the wise men. So the Magi is another name for what we would call the wise men. So we don't know about the wise men this. We don't know how many of them there were that visited Jesus, but there were probably more than 3. We don't know their names, how old they were, or exactly where they came from. We don't even know how they learned about the star that guided them to Jesus. But we do know a few things about them. So we know that they were scholars, that they were wise men. They studied and they were well read. And so we know, based on their studies and their readings, that they understood that a king was going to be born and that he would change everything. They somehow knew how to find Jesus. So following the star and just, I don't know, you can only look up for so long and then it's just everywhere. I don't know. So they somehow knew exactly the cave or the barn or wherever Jesus was. They knew how to find him there. And then we also know that they followed a star and traveling thousands of miles just to see and worship Jesus. And then finally, we also know that they brought him gifts. And these weren't gifts like expired gift cards. These were very expensive gifts, especially for that time. And so these men were important, they were wealthy, and they were intelligent. But when they learned this new king had been born, they knew they had to go and honor him. So unlike King Herod, who immediately feared and hated baby Jesus, the wise men responded to this new king with worship. So how did these wise men worship Jesus? Did they play their favorite worship songs from a Bluetooth speaker and sing at him? Probably not. There's a few issues with that one, but we don't have to get into that now. But here's what they actually did. So picking back up in Matthew chapter 2, we start in verse 11. And this is what it says. "On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother, Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route." So when the wise men finally found Jesus, they honored him by giving him gifts. Gifts that meant something really significant. So I don't know who'd say no to getting gold for Christmas, but what in the world are frankincense and myrrh? That's like a totally, I have no idea what those are before I read this story and had to look into it. So let's be real, none of these sounded like baby appropriate gifts, like, the little onesies and, baby pajamas and stuff like that we would typically give babies around Christmas time. But these gifts, they actually had a whole lot of symbolism with them. So we start with gold. Gold was a gift that would typically represent kingship. So it would be something that people would normally give to represent allegiance to a king-like person. So with that gift, they were kind of expressing that they believed that Jesus was going to be a king. And then frankincense, that is more of it's called a resin. So it's like a sap from a tree. So the tree that comes from is called a boswellia tree. And it's often used to make perfumes and also has medicinal purposes. But even more importantly, this was often seen as a gift you would give to a deity. So this was a gift that you would give somebody that you believed was a god. And so they gave this gift to Jesus, expressing that they thought that Jesus was God and the only God. And so myrrh is a lot like frankincense in that it's a sap, but it's a sap from a different plant. So myrrh was normally used in perfumes, but this gift was significant because it was often used to prepare a body for burial. So this gift here is kind of representative of the fact that they knew from the moment that Jesus was born that he was destined to die. And so that's these three symbolic gifts that the wise men brought to Jesus. They acknowledged with their gifts that Jesus was king, that he was God, and that he was there to die for them so that they could be saved. These gifts were more than just gifts. They expressed that the wise men trusted in who Jesus was. They were an act of worship. They weren't just gifts, they were an act of worship. So with their gifts, the wise men gave Jesus their worship. They honored him, gave him their best, and communicated that he was worthy of their best, worthy of the long exhausting journey it took to find him, and worthy of everything they could give him and more. These wise men were familiar with the prophets, whose words are recorded in the Old Testament of the Bible. So it's likely they were also familiar with the words of the Psalms, like this one. It says, "The mighty one, God the Lord, speaks and summons the earth, from the rising of the sun to where it sets. From Zion, perfect in beauty, God shines forth. Our God comes and will not be silent. A fire devours before him, and around him a tempest rages. He summons the heavens above and the earth that he may judge his people. Gather to me this consecrated people who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And the heavens proclaim his righteousness, for he is a God of justice." Because the wise men understood that baby Jesus was God in the flesh, they understood that as long as they had breath, they were called to worship him. By giving Jesus gifts that were costly and meaningful, the wise men set an example for us. We may not be rich, and there's not really a way for us to give Jesus physical gifts. But as long as we have breath, we can give Jesus our worship. So on the first Christmas, the wise men gave their worship. That's really what the wise men gave. That's the main thing to take away from this. That no matter what we have, no matter if it's gold, frankincense, or myrrh, or an expired gift card, we can give God and Jesus our worship. So this Christmas, how can we do the same? How exactly can we follow the example of the wise men? What does it really mean to worship Jesus? I mean, the wise men could see Jesus bring him gifts and give him attention and affection in practical, physical ways. So I want to break it down like this by asking a couple questions of what is worship and how do we worship. So worship is what happens anytime we give honor to Jesus with our words or actions. It's about thanking him for what he has done and praising him for who he is. So that is worship. So how do we do it? How do we worship somebody that isn't there for us to give physical gifts? So while it may seem difficult to bring worship to Jesus today, we have an advantage that the wise men didn't have. We have a Christmas list directly from God, and we can find it all in the pages of Scripture. So the first way is worshiping Jesus with our words. So worship with music and art and all that is definitely worship. And that's how we just worshiped Jesus a little bit ago. But there's other ways too. So we can worship Jesus with our words by singing praise to him like we did. We can praise him and worship him by telling him thank you. We can tell him how incredible he is. And we can also worship him by telling others about him, like we talked about last week. Sharing our stories of faith with others can be an act of worship. And so the second way that kind of goes along with that we can worship is we worship with our actions. So the wise men, they worship Jesus with their actions by giving him gifts and bowing down before him. But we can worship him through our actions by, maybe letting go of things that keep us far from him. Or maybe for you, it's making time for him daily. Maybe it's choosing to obey him. loving and serving others as he loved us. And that's everyone. So our community is full of people who need help, they need love, or they need a friend right now. I mean, we all know that. So when we use our actions and our words to give honor to Jesus, we follow the example the wise men set of worshiping him. So you don't have to be rich, influential, or important in order to give Jesus a gift worth giving. The wise men, they gave gold, frankincense, and myrrh, but all of those things have dollar amounts attributed with them. The wise men, they gave something that was priceless as well, besides those three gifts. They gave their worship. And that's what I want you guys to take away today. That on the first Christmas, the wise men gave their worship. So this Christmas, you and I, we can worship God with our words and our actions, just like the wise men did. This Christmas, how can you give Jesus your worship?
This Christmas, a way I can give worship to Jesus is probably by just telling others about him and sharing my faith more, because usually I don't do that. I don't talk about it with other people because I feel it will make them uncomfortable and stuff like that, so I don't really talk about it. But I feel like it's important that I do, or they could be missing an opportunity to learn about Jesus, and I could be missing an opportunity to worship Jesus.
So Christmas time really is more downtime for me normally, and so I'll go into like just island mode, Matt, relax, Matt. And sometimes if I'm not careful, I'll just get lax in like personal disciplines, like reading my Bible, praying, spending time, because I'll just sleep in, I'll do it later. And so I think for me, just making that still the first thing I do when I wake up is super important this season. Of like worship still important, even if I have more free time.
This Christmas, I can worship him by just keeping time for me to do my daily devotions or read the Bible more.
I think I can worship Jesus more this Christmas season by going deeper into my prayer life and talking with him on a daily level about everything.
I think I can worship Jesus this Christmas season by choosing to obey him and just like being obedient when I know he wants me to do something and like there's no question that he wants me to, like not being afraid to be obedient and do it.
This Christmas, I think I could be more expressive with my faith, and so no matter if I'm having a good day or a bad day and stuff I say and do, I can just be really true to following Jesus.
I can continue to worship Jesus this Christmas by continuing to read my Bible every day and my devotional, and to continue to share his word with other people and my friends.
I feel like this Christmas, like serving people, because usually I would volunteer during the Christmas services, so finding maybe a different way I can still serve people this year despite COVID would be a good way for me.
Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us for YX. Sadly, this is our last YX of 2020, but need no fear. We'll be back so soon. Sorry I said need no fear. That is not even really a phrase, but need no fear. I'm going to double down on it. We'll be back very, very shortly, January 10th, so we're only taking about 3 weeks off, and then we'll be back for a brand new series. But we still have ways for you to plug in every single week, and so we'd love to invite you to next Tuesday, December 23rd, Christmas at RLC. We have multiple services that day and the next day. We'd love to see you here for it. Maybe you can attend one, maybe you can serve at a Christmas service. We'd love to see you for our big Christmas extravaganza, fun for the whole family. It's going to be an incredible service. We'll see you then. Also, if you are brand new, we'd love to go ahead and connect with you right now. We're going to drop a Zoom link in the chat. You can click that, and we'll just spend a few minutes, tell you more about YX, tell you more about groups. They'll be starting back again in January, and we'd love to connect with you there. Let me tell you quickly about the series we're doing in January. We're doing a series called Happy Renew Year. Resolutions are the thing in January. Everybody gets the gym membership or makes promises or makes resolutions. I'm going to do better. I'm going to achieve this goal. I'm going to get this habit in my life. But the Bible tells us that we shouldn't be conformed to the habits of this world. That when we spend time with God, we're actually transformed by the renewal of our mind. In other words, when God spends time with us, He changes us. And so we're going to talk about what it means to have resolutions that are like spending time with God. Making space for community in our lives, making space to reject apathy and actually pursue Him daily, making space to not be isolated from people, but to be around the people that God's put in our lives. So we're really excited about it. It's going to be really, really good. January 10th, tune in there, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
But you always really knew I just wanna be with you. And I mean so deep. You know I'm such a fool for you. You got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? double-dealing joker, gonna stick to his guns. Can you believe this world's just a television blaring, a million devils at once?